John McInroy has requested that those in the car laugh forward because he wants to feel love. Fight. Too simple. Yeah, no, it's on. It's on. All right. Howdy, everyone.
Howdy. Howdy.
Hello.
I'm getting really excited. Okay, so my name is Bridget O'Connell. I serve as the Executive Vice President for Honor Student Council. I'm pleased to welcome all of you on behalf of Honor Student Council and all of our wonderful sponsors. Can you all hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Special thanks to the Becky Gates Children's Center, the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History, the Hollingsworth Leadership Excellence Program in the Texas A&M Corps Cadets, Texas A&M Residence Life, and Texas A&M Honors and Undergraduate Research with generous support from the Association of Former Students. Please help me thank them and all of our sponsors. I'm pleased to introduce our speaker for the evening, John McInroy. He is a motivational speaker from South Africa who has an MBA from the University College Dublin and a bachelor's in communication from the University of Cape Town. He's the founder of Red Sox Friday global social movement. Red Sox, yay! Anyone else got him? Woo! It's a movement that is dedicated to making a difference and inspiring oneself and others to follow your heart. So, he also founded the Unogwaja Challenge. I'm really proud I got to say that. It's an endurance event to raise money for charity that includes a 10-day, 1,000-mile bicycle ride across South Africa, followed by running the 56-mile Comrades Marathon on day 11. This is his first visit to the United States, and Texas A&M is his first stop on a trip that includes San Francisco. Please help me welcome him. Yay! Welcome, Texas.
Yes.
Is it better with this? No, this is Dr. Brown, your call. With this one? Oh, okay. Howdy.
Howdy.
That is, I'm just going to do that. I've never. Howdy.
Hey!
This is unbelievable. So what's the next bit though? Woo! What's whoop? Okay, so you guys are gonna get this. I didn't plan on starting this way, but on these socks, it's a word that says "shoops." It's the same vibe. It's like something that you say it and you just come alive, and it's like a togetherness thing. It's like something that people do that shows that we're one. So this word was a word that we used to say at university and at school, and it kind of used to mean nothing. In fact, I went to a school called Bishops, and there were quite a few posh kids there, and everyone used to say shops. I kind of like rip off the rich posh kids that went to the school, and in the end, shops just came from it. Like it just grew, and I used to travel a lot when playing hockey, and went to Malaysia, India, Australia, plenty of places in Europe and Africa, and it was a word that when you said it, whoever heard it would just start saying it themselves and kind of adopt it in a way that made them feel happy. And it's just crazy to hear. Like I've been in America for 24 hours, and it's radical. And like honestly, it's like a completely different world. But I bumped into Stephen Hernandez. I don't know if anyone knows Stephen Hernandez, but he started to talk to me about his Aggie ring and just seeing the pride and the honor and the passion that it is to be an Aggie is quite something. And I just want to recognize that. It's really a great honor for me to be here today, and to be able to share my story with you guys, because I can just see the pride and the honor in this room. So I want to say thank you to everyone for coming out here. I kind of, when Corey said there was 400 seats, I was like, it's going to be awkward, and there's like 7 people here. So thank you. I would like to share as much as possible of myself tonight, if that makes sense. I'm not here to do a beautiful talk. I'm not here to. It's not going to be perfect. I think that's something that I want to share with you, because often we look for success and we look for something that's perfect, and it almost stops us from trying in the first place. And in many respects, I'm looking here, I'm like, this is the first time I've been in Texas. I'm in a foreign environment, and these outfits are bloody intimidating as well. But this whole message that I want to share with you is that, like, when you go out and you really do the best that you can possibly do, there's no such thing as a bad outcome. There's no such thing as failure. So with that, I can really, I can really just share myself out here today. Being in America for the first time, I've dreamt of coming to America for so long. I can't explain to you how many times it's almost happened. And to arrive in Houston last night was really special for me. And I'd just like to say thanks to all the different individuals amongst us tonight who have had belief and who have supported me in being here tonight. To say thank you, especially to Corey, to Jonathan Kotenek, the most steamy human being I've ever seen. That is just a beard to behold. And then Dr. Brown, that is a magnificent moustache. I actually shaved 2 days ago because I come under, like, you've got to shave. And my mom, she lives in England, but I'm in South Africa. And she sees me with my beard and she's like, Americans weren't like that. You've got to, clean shaven, especially, regimental army. So if I only knew, I would have been freaking rocking the beard. But I'll have to come back, because it took me a long time. I'm 32 years old now. It took me a long time to be able to grow a beard. And now there's a little patchy in places, but it's not bad. But I feel I want to share it's a part of the speech that has become an important part in my life that has come out of America. And I think I didn't realize how much inspiration I get from your country. And I feel like it's an important message to share today in your country, because there is so much there's so much responsibility, there's so much power, there's so much inspiration just in this room, but in America as a whole. And I think with that responsibility with that power and with that inspiration comes such incredible responsibility. And I guess from me coming from South Africa to your shores, like I want to remind us all of the responsibilities that we have of being where we are, and certainly to Americans, as we're here right now, to say each one of us, each one of you has such an important mission to do for America, but for our world, and it's really needed. And it's so amazing being in the company of Dr. Brown and Dr. Cousins. No, I was close enough. Just really special people who are really trying to share important things. And the speech goes like this. I'm sure you've probably heard it, and I hope that I can do it justice. It's not the critic who counts. It's not about the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again and again. For there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does strive to do the deeds? Who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the end, at his best, knows the triumph of higher achievement? Who at his worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls that know neither victory nor defeat. Woo! I hope I got that right. It's walking and being part of your institution today, and being part of America. And especially, I guess I'm talking more to the guys in the cadet uniform here, who are at the start of their lives, who are embracing on their own journey. The most important thing I want to leave with you guys today, in whatever way that I can, is to realize how important each one of your lives and your lights are to so many people, and the impact that each one of you guys can have. And we often forget that. I mean, in a country of 350 million people, I mean, it's a crazy figure for me to even think about. I mean, the population of Texas is almost the same as the population of South Africa. So it's like, often we look at that and we're like, well, what difference does it make? Marez, what difference does it make? What if my actions, there's 350 million people here, what difference do the things that I do make? It makes a huge difference. And I want to share some stories of just simple examples of people who have done something that it's not remarkable, it's not big, it's not changing the world, but they're small acts of kindness, of compassion, of following that thing that is telling you to do something, but so often we find reasons not to follow it. And when you do, the most magical things can happen. And I believe it's it's what makes us truly who we are. We find exactly what we're supposed to be doing when we listen to this something that's in our hearts. And back in 2007, I was living in Dublin, in Ireland. So I was born in South Africa, in Cape Town, and moved to Johannesburg. My family is all South African, and it was in 1986 that my family emigrated, me and my sister and my mom and dad, to England. My parents didn't want me and my sister growing up in the apartheid era, and they wanted us to just have a different perspective and to have options in the future, because at that stage the future of South Africa was not entirely certain, and there were some really tough things to embrace, and things that are very awkward to talk about in terms of the way that the country dealt with certain people. And so we went away, but spent a lot of time coming back to South Africa, and South Africa was always a big part of our lives. But in 1998, I ended up moving back to South Africa and went to boarding school. My parents stayed in England. My sister was now going to university in Scotland. And I remember how it was a crazy thing. I'd been living in England for 12 years, and I was playing junior sport for England. I had a really strong English accent. I had all my friends there, and there was something, even at age 16, I remember now, and I can look back, like, wow, that was a crazy decision. But there was just something in me that said, I want to do it. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense. More times than not, it doesn't make any sense. And yet, I can look back now, that was a really meaningful sort of decision that was made. And by 2007, I went to university. I played I was really honoured and privileged to represent my country, South Africa, in hockey. I travelled quite extensively playing hockey, which was a great honour. But by 2007, I got a job in Dublin. And when I moved to Dublin, a really, really good friend of mine, he was playing hockey. He's a double Olympic hockey player and a doctor, and he wanted to work overseas. So I told him, so I'm going to Dublin. Why don't you come to Dublin too? And he ended up coming, and you know, we shared a really intimate like brotherhood, more than what had gone on in the past. But we'd been friends for a long time, and we travelled together. We lived in a foreign country together. He ended up getting a job quite a bit outside of Dublin, and he met a girl from the Bahamas who'd been living in Dublin for 13 years. And I'm told that apparently everyone in Aggieland get married at like 21. But you guys need to catch your wake up call there. That's crazy, eh? But women often distort a lot of things. Eh? Better watch out for that. In a beautiful way. But anyway, my friend, he fell in love with this girl from Bahamas, and after about 9-10 months, they decided to move back to South Africa together. So I was continuing to work in Dublin. I had like a normal corporate job. You know, it's so much easier to tell people what you do if you work in a corporate. It's like, but now what I do, it's a bloody nightmare. Someone asks you what you do, and they're not satisfied with whatever answer I give them. Anyway, so me and Samo were saying goodbye to each other, basically. He was going back to South Africa. I was continuing to work in Dublin. I didn't know where our paths would go. And we kind of sensed that. And we wanted just to have something that we could remember each other by. Like something, no matter where we were in the world, that we could just spare a thought for our mates and our friendship. And he then shared a story, which I think a lot of guys here will appreciate, about he went to school in Port Elizabeth, which was a good 1,000 kilometers away from Cape Town. And a lot of schools in South Africa have memorial or Remembrance Day services for people who died in the war, in the First and Second World War. And every single year at his school Remembrance Day service, this one old guy would come to the front of the chapel and he'd have his wreath of flowers to pay respects to his fallen comrades. And he'd come to the front and he'd be wearing red socks, like this old dude in a somber Remembrance Day service is rocking his red socks. And every single year, he'd be rocking the red socks and be like, why is this guy wearing red socks? And eventually it came back to this man, his name is Sidney Feinson. He's a Jewish South African man. And he got captured in the Second World War in the Battle of Tobruk in 1942. And along with 96 other South African prisoners of war taken to an Italian prisoner of war camp in northern Italy, Ferrara. It's a small rural town in northern Italy. And when Feinson was there, him and two friends, two close friends, made a pact with each other. They said, if anyone makes it back alive from this experience, from this ordeal, they'll wear red socks to always be together and always remember each other. And the moment that Simo shared that story, it was like, oh, that's beautiful. We're going to wear red socks. And it's quite funny. Back then, it was 2007 in Dublin, and to get a pair of red socks was a bloody mission. You had to buy like a 5-pack, and the red socks were kind of the ones in the middle, and you had to deal with that. But we overcome that obstacle and just started wearing red socks every Friday. And at the time in Dublin, it was a really negative, like it was recession. People were losing jobs like very, very, very frequently. And it wasn't a great place to be. Like everyone was caught up in the routine, just in all the things that were dragging people down. And these red socks, whenever I came to work on a Friday, they would always pull up my trouser leg. It's now easier with my current job. I can wear shorts. They always checked my Red Sox, and then more people in my office started to wear them. And my new housemate was working for KPMG, the auditors, and he started wearing Red Sox. And just people just got involved. It was just, it's just fun, And we used to stand on the bloody boardroom table and take a photo of us and email it around. And it was just South African word is fierce, but actually General Ramirez gave me the Spirit of Aguiland coin. It was a real honor to meet him and to feel that. I really get a sense that the same understanding and the same kind of resonance is felt really strongly in this institution. Anyway, what was I talking about? She said that again. I got to Texas yesterday evening, and sleep has been minimal. And she said, being on the schedule here, it's been proper. But I did buy a cowboy hat, but I should have brought it with me. It's freaking unbelievable. Someone needs to lend me a big pair of those boots. I'm doing the half marathon on Saturday. I think it would be rude not to wear something that's really quintessentially Texan. So I need to wear the hat and the boots. If anyone's keen to do it with me, I think that would be not so keen. Miller, what's wrong with you? You don't? I thought the Americans are supposed to be tough.
We've done it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So will someone would it be okay for me to wear an outfit on Saturday, or is it against the rules?
We can make it.
Yeah, well, we'll make an exception. I'm coming tomorrow morning. I'm going to be with the squad 6 and 11, and we're going running. Yeah. That is epic. Don't really know what to expect. Okay, someone's going to help me. Where was I at my story? I don't even know. Oh yes, okay. Thank you. I'm just checking that you guys are listening. No, I think my brain is slightly warped at the moment, but it's great. I appreciate the safety in this room. I really appreciate it. So basically, it was just something that started randomly between mates, and the one thing led to another. But it was just no more than that. There was no thought of anything big or anything. Just pure fun. But the more that we shared the spirit, the more important it was. It was something that we often get caught up in our day-to-day lives, of just the mundane and just the negative, and just focusing on things that we don't have, as opposed to focusing on things that we do have, and reasons why we can do things. Anyway, it was the beginning of January. It was January 2009. So it was the end of 2007 that I started wearing Red Sox, and you can pretty much name any activity on the planet. I've done them in Red Sox. These socks have been worn a lot, and it's not just on Fridays now. It's like whenever you feel like you need a little bit of a lift, you get married, or you I haven't been married, sorry. It's like, but when you need a little bit of extra. Oh Jesus, I see you going there. Let's detour. I often do extremely funny Freudian slips. So anyway, less about that. But people wear them for job interviews. People wear them for exams. People wear them for there's so many different reasons. I think one of the magical things about this is it's about your journey. It's about Maria's journey. That's about Miller needing to toughen up a little bit. It's that's the thing about these Red Sox is it's intimate and personal to each person, and it's just a reminder sometimes that we need to focus on what's important. And in January 2009, I woke up in the middle of the night after the most vivid dream that I can ever recall having. But I basically just dreamt of Red Sox all over the world map, just connecting people, and I knew that it was something that I had to act on. I didn't know how or what or why. And that night, and it's again another connection to the United States of America. I think it was around the kind of Obama election campaign, and he was obviously at the forefront of. I think something to bring perspective about your president, of how much hope he brought to a lot of people outside of America. Something just to share with you guys. The celebrations of people around Africa who never, it's almost like you never believed that would be possible. you know how much hope that is, and it was just very special to share that with you guys. But that night, for whatever reason, I dreamt of Obama walking to that, you know, like in Washington, I don't know what it's called, but Forrest Gump had a little chat there in the movie. Thank you. Brophy. Yeah, you're going to go much further than Miller. Miller's not happy with me. Miller, I'm only joking. Yeah? You have broad shoulders. And anyway, in the stream, Obama walked up to the microphones, and he was about to speak, and there's just thousands, millions of people. And he pulls up his trouser leg and he goes, "Shoops!" And honestly, that was the moment that I realized that, because shoops has been a word that's been in my life for many years, and I always believed in its magic, but I didn't know how it looked or what. And from that moment on, I was like, that's it. And I quit my job the next day, and you should have seen my boss. He was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" You know, I didn't exactly have a coherent plan as to what I'd be doing, but I just knew deep down that it was a path that I had to walk, and wherever it would lead, it was the right place, and that there was no such thing as success or failure. And I think that's something so important to share today, that I think holds us back a lot. That when you follow your heart, it's the journey that counts, and the journey will unveil as it's meant to. And when something is in your heart, it allows you to put everything into it. Something to illustrate that point. My dad used to talk to me about Van Gogh, you know, the painter Van Gogh. There's lots of different pronunciations. I'm sure you guys roll it a little differently, but you get the picture. And he was in the park painting, as he does. And a lady went up to him and said, "Would you mind painting my picture?" He was like, "Absolutely, madam." And so he does his thing. And no more than 5 minutes later, he hands the painting to this lady, and he says, "That'll be $10,000. And the lady looks at him and says, "But that took you 5 minutes." And he says, "No matter, that took me my whole lifetime." And it's something that's a small random story, but when you follow your heart, like, the entire worth of your being is put behind it. And it also means that when you come into, like, following your heart doesn't mean all high fives and glory and awesome moments. Like, it's pretty tough, and it stings at times. It's really tough, but following your heart enables you to get through those moments, as opposed to revert to something else, or to stop, or to change tack. Like, when you truly believe in something, you truly believe in the value of it and how it impacts other people, it really gives you the ability to keep going. And I mean, I'm sure you guys, I mean, there's so many with American movies, you see when what you do, other people are depending on it. How much more can you do? Hey, Miller, someone's depending on you, you're going to come through, aren't you? And that's really important, and something that I would dig to share with you guys today, because it's important for America. It's important for, and understand your country has such a big impact on this world. Like, understand, it's the truth, whether people like it or not. And each one of you guys in this room, and everyone, not just the guys in the uniform, have that responsibility. And I really believe that when you follow your heart, you take the path that you're supposed to walk, and you shine the most light that you can possibly in this world. And what then happened amongst other things, I had this Red Sox thing. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, obviously my dad, he's been really supportive of me throughout, but I mean, it's like, you're a bit worried, you know. It's like, jeepers, you had a job, you had security, you had a path that was, I think sort of things have changed in generations where people used to be married for 30, 40 years and be in the same job for 30, 40 years, whereas now it's like, people are all over the place. And it's, it was a difficult thing to navigate, but I knew that it was right. I ended up applying for I applied for an MBA because I thought was a cool environment to explore different cultures. Like doing an MBA in Europe, there's just people from all over the world that are there. But this MBA was bloody expensive, and I had to get like a however many point GMAT, and GMAT's expensive. And I was like, geez, there's so many reasons this is not really going to work out. You know, like 40 to 50,000 euro most MBA courses. So I applied for a few, and in the end, I was sitting in front with the MBA director of the school in Dublin, and I started telling him about the Red Sox. And I saw this guy like a week ago in Cape Town. I haven't seen him since the MBA, and he's now in Berlin, but he was from Cape Town. And anyway, he said to me, the school supports a thing called the Ideas for the Future Scholarship, an idea that can impact the world. So I was like, jeepers, well, this was like fresh off my dream for the Red Sox. So I was like, well, I'd love to share this dream. I mean, it's just a dream, but. And in the end, like about a week later, he phoned me and he said, we'd like to give you a 15,000 euro grant. So I was like, wow. But then I still had the other half of the fees to worry about, which is still 15,000 euro, and then living expenses in Dublin, bloody expensive. So there were still some issues. And then suddenly the sports department came to me and said, well, we heard you got the scholarship. We'd like to pay the other half of your fees and then put you up in residence. So I was like, the Red Sox God like, exists. I was like, I mean, literally, I'd done nothing other than dream and then tell someone about the dream. And I think it's also something to share, because we often don't want to share things because we're embarrassed, or we want to protect the idea, or we want to put it out there, throw it out there to the universe. Like, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but if you don't try, you definitely know the outcome. And anyway, I then managed to do some funky noise going on. Okay. And then I ended up doing an exchange program in India, which was an amazing cultural experience to explore a completely different culture. And I was saying to Doc earlier that I really respected the hardworking ethos of the Indian students, because like in my school there was something crazy. Like it's the Indian School of Management, and I was in Bangalore, and there's 3 or 4 of them around the country, and they get something like 350,000 applicants. But the difference between the top marked applicant and the bottom of 350,000 was like a few percentage points between the top and the bottom. And so every single point counted. And when I was at university there, there'd be like a test the next day where it would carry, say, 2%. And so I'd be like, guys, you know, let's go out, let's go play cricket, let's go do something, you know, 2%, you know, you got to weigh up. But university is not just about the cause, it's not just about, it's not just about studies, it's about a balance, it's about, it was so beautiful for me to see these guys saying, well, that 2% can be the difference between me getting a job and not. And that was the competition that was at stake. There's so many people in India. And it was a great sort of learning curve and a great sort of sharing experience for me. It's like ET. Jeepers. Houston, we have a problem. So I think that's what happened when I arrived in Houston yesterday. It's like there was a bald dude at customs who was like asking me what I was doing, and then I told him that I just basically got my Red Sox things, and then he said, "Am I going to see you on Jay Leno?" And then I was like, I don't know who this fellow is, Jay Leno, but if he's a nice fellow, then I'd love to meet him. But anyway, yeah, it was quite. It's been really cool just chatting to you, to everyone. But I get back. It's like it's so crazy to feel how different everything is here, and yet we speak the same language, and also we are connected on so many other levels. I think that's something to really be cognizant of. Is like. Sometimes we look at other people like Morez and me here, and we think that we're completely different because we're focusing on the things that make us different, as opposed to focusing on the things that make us quite alike. And did someone just let rip there? Jeez. Doc, is this a protocol? Eh? In the uniform as well. Sorry, I'm getting distracted majorly. Sorry, Morez. It wasn't him. But I think Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like a completely different land, but what's really incredible is that we're all tied together by something. I really believe that, and I think it's an important thing to recognize and to speak about. We often forget, and there's so many, there's so much conflict as a result of different religions and different colors. I mean, for crying out loud, it's crazy. And I think trying to recognize humanity first and something to share is so when Cindy Feinstein, the Red Socker, he came to the Memorial Day services range, Red Sox. He escaped from his prisoner of war camp, so he's got a journal that now we can read. And he escaped from his prisoner of war camp, and so he was at large in Italy. And the first person that found him was a young Italian girl called Giovanna, who was 17 years old, so not much different to you guys. And she felt compelled to take this Jewish South African man into her home. And ultimately, you know what the risk was for being found with the prisoner of war. It was the ultimate risk. Like the risk for the prisoner of war, he would have been captured and taken back to the prisoner of war camp and offered army, whatever it's called. But the family that were looking after the prisoner of war would not be spared the same liberties. And yet there was something inside them that said, there's a complete stranger from South Africa. I'm going to put my hand out and look after this guy. And in 1972, Sidney Feinstein and his wife went back to Giovanna to find her in Ferreira and thank her. And apparently it was an incredible experience. Giovanna subsequently passed away, but since this journey has started and the Red Sox have started to spread around the world and the story has started to spread, I mean, it's almost like, it's almost crazy. Like we haven't like formally even got like a structure, or like the Red Sox story just sort of just goes in its own steam, and it's reached many places, and one of which was Italy. And a lady found out about the story of Giovanna and her role in helping Sidney Feinstein in getting back home, and then the story and how it moved on from there. So she got hold of the municipality of Ferreira and got hold of the family of Giovanna. And now I've been in touch with Giuseppe, the son of Giovanna, who now knows that this entire legacy, this whole story has ultimately happened as a result of one woman's kindness at age 17, saying, cut me some slack and looking after someone. It doesn't matter the color, the religion, the consequences. There was something inside of it that said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow it. And she never would have thought possible that it would lead to anything like this, but it did. And so often we say, like, well, I've got nothing, I don't know what's in my heart. Like, I don't have anything massive. Like, I haven't dreamt to play Red Sox for the world. But that's not what it's meant. It's whatever you have inside, and every day you can exercise that. Like, and you never know of the impact that it may have. And back in 2010, I came back from my exchange in India, and a guy wanted to share a story with me about a Comrades Marathon run. So in South Africa, they run the Comrades Marathon, which is the longest foot race, road race in South Africa. It's 89 kilometers. And it was started to commemorate and honor the people who died in the war. So it was almost like a one-day sacrifice. You'd run 89 kilometers to experience some form of sacrifice as a way of honoring people who died in the war. And I didn't really have, as a hockey player, I was kind of a lazy sportsman. I used to hang near the goals and try and do as little as possible to get my name on the score sheet. And so running 89 kilometers is not particularly something that I would be signing up for in a hurry. And this guy starts telling me about a young South African who in 1931 became the youngest ever Comrades at age 19. And you now have to be 20 to run the Comrades. It's a record which stands this day. And his nickname was Unogwaja, which is the word that Bridget so beautifully wrote out. And it's a word that is widely mispronounced. But Unogwaja is the Zulu word for a hare, a rabbit. And this was a nickname given to Phil Masterton Smith. In 1933, Phil Masterton Smith was living in Cape Town. Cape Town's in the far west, southern tip of Africa, basically. And the Comrades Marathon is held on the other side of the country in South Africa. It's not as big as America, but it's pretty big. But It's about 1,800 kilometers between Cape Town and Pietermaritzburg. And in 1933, Phil Marston Smith couldn't afford the train fare from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg. So instead of giving up and not taking part, there was something inside him which said, there must be a way. I'm going to try at least. And he got his bicycle in 1933. You can imagine the road conditions in a third world country back in 1933. You can imagine the type of bicycle he would have had. You also imagine the type of mentality that would have been like in the world at the time, like just after First World War, just before the Second World War, depression. And yet there was something inside him that said, I want to take part in this. I want to do this. And so he cycled across our country and took part in the Comrades Marathon. So I was like, wow, it's an amazing story. Wow, I wanted to know more about it. But this guy who's telling me the story was like, just hang on, there's more to it. On the 5th of June, 1942, Phil Marston Smith lost his life in the Battle of Tobruk. And the moment that I heard that, it was just like, how on earth did these two completely unrelated stories from so far back come to my path? And the moment that story was shared, it wasn't a question of, it wasn't a question, full stop. It was just like, we're going to do this. We're going to emulate. We're going to follow the story. It feels right. We'll worry about the how later. And I mean, the how was sure. It's been now 4 years, and we're in our 5th year of the Unogwaja challenge. And there's been so many stages of it, but the most incredible thing is the sense that when you put yourself out there and you truly say, I'm going to do something, and you truly believe in it, and other people are going to benefit, and other people are part of it. So much happens, and people just want to join and help and support, and that's what happened. And we've now created an organization called the Unogwaja Light Fund, where we are supporting organizations and people along our route that are representing hope for our country and representing ecosystems of life in terms of from education and from a skills development point of view, from a point of view of enabling people to empower themselves and to drive their lives forward. And we have been subjected to the most incredible warmth and support from people who don't have much. And we are now, it's like the ride and the run are almost like really minuscule parts of this journey now. We interview people from all over the world who apply to join Unogwaja, and they have to commit to raise funds, but there's so much more to it, and be part of this mission. It's like, it's not even like the run and the ride is just the means, but the actual impact and the actual story behind it. And I guess the Unogwaja challenge is how I came to be here in College Station in Texas. Corey Ajak was in South Africa on a research project, and she happened to be staying in the hotel that we were starting from in Cape Town. And we just actually had a television interview the day before, and it was really early. It was one of these breakfast shows, so it was like 5, 6 in the morning. So we got home, back to the hotel. I was getting some, like in the buffet fruit section, getting some fruit, and this lady next to me was like, "Excuse me, what is this fruit?" And it was Corey Ajak asking me what this grenadilla was. So I was like, "It's a grenadilla." And the moment I heard an American accent, we had another amazing lady from Wisconsin who the year before bumped into us at the airport and had been following our story from Wisconsin. And we basically have a video diary of every day along the road, and a lot of things happen. It's really kind of naked, it's really real and really raw. And so I was like, geez, Corey, American, and I wanted to introduce her to Cindy from Wisconsin. So one thing led to another, and then I wanted to just send her give her some red socks just to say it was nice to meet you. So we sent red socks up to her room, and then the next morning at 3:30 in the morning when we went down to start our journey, I saw Corey in her red socks waiting and seeing us off. And a year later, she just jumped, and she said, "I want to be part of this journey," and we take support crews. So the people that do the cycle really are so dependent on the support crew, on the people who are helping with food, with physio stuff, with safety. And Corey just said, "I want to be part of it," and she paid her own way to come to South Africa to support us on this mission. And I just want to say that when you believe in what you do, people want to believe in it with you, and it's a really special thing. And the other poem that I really like, that I think almost sums up what I want to share with you and remind you all of. And I really hope that these little stories, like Phil Marston Smith's just like you or I, he's just a South African dude that's got a heart and he believes in something. Giovanna is just like you or I, just this Italian girl who shows some compassion. And sometimes like we don't even do that on a day-to-day basis because we're just caught up in whatever's happening. Sydney Feinson, just like you or I, and your life can have as much impact. I mean, think about those guys, they're not here anymore. I'm here telling you about their lives and the impact that is going to continue, and I hope it will be a legacy that lives on forever. I hope that you understand that that is your potential, and it doesn't matter about your situation, it doesn't matter about anything. It's completely up to you, and you have that choice, and especially in a beautiful and incredible country like America. Let's make the right choice. And I have dreams of Red Sox just, everyone thinks I support like bloody Boston Red Sox. And I'm like, I don't even know what Boston is. It's in Canada, Boston. That's a joke. Geez, Americans definitely think South Africans are a bit doff and a bit stupid. Yeah. I get that impression, like, South Africans. I have half a brain. It's debatable. But to end off, and I hope I've done justice to the story. I feel like I'm just like the custodian of it at the moment, and the story is going to continue. And we're also all part of the story. We've never had an American take part in the cycle, and I just feel a strong connection with this place. Like meeting Jennings this morning, and just seeing the honor and the spirit in this group of young men and women, it really is something remarkable. I'll make something special happen with it. So to finish off, I'm going to end off with some other words. Some of my favorite words. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Thank you. Maybe someone else can open this one. Oh, radical. Very fancy. Look more important with a briefcase these days. What is this? Oh, thanks.
Some reading material for the plane.
Yeah, it's a long enough flight, but it's definitely really been amazing. I can't believe I've only been here for 24 hours. So thank you very much. John, continue. You're just a beautiful man. Yeah, sure.
So I think he's going to take any questions, so maybe we'll pass this around to the person. Anyone? Maybe?
Where can we get the Red Sox?
Yeah. So you answer that for future. Obviously for now.
In the future, don't you guys have a website that you also want?
Yeah, so in fact, let's just throw it out there. One of the challenges of growth is like logistics. So you guys are in America, and this whole little thing started in South Africa. There's some logistical issues around that element. And yeah, challenges is should we establish some kind of beautiful manufacturing setup in the States and create an actual distribution center in America. Part of me is like all the socks should be made in South Africa because it's supporting our employment, it's supporting local people, it's supporting. But part of me is like, this is all about everyone else's individual journeys, and if this story is to really take shape in America, we should support America, and we should support an American story. So I'd love to hear from anyone, but at the moment it's kind of like guerrilla warfare. We just get socks however we can, and it's actually kind of one of my things that I've wanted it to be difficult to get the socks. Like we've had various retailers, like a big retailer in South Africa, who's like, we'll put the red socks and we'll sell hundreds of thousands of red socks. And that all sounds really cool, but I said to them like, what happens when I go to this retailer and walk up to the dude Carrera? He's like, just chilling there, freaking hating his job, and I go like, sorry, Carrera, what are these red socks? And Carrera's like, I don't know, that's some charity thing, whatever. That's just not cool, So I try to, like, it's so much more special when someone gives you a pair of red socks. There's a reason behind it, and when you discover the story on your own, however you discover it. So for me, the challenge is around embracing that, but also I'd love to be able to get the socks to more people more readily. And we also want to create a foundation, and that's also another thing that I want to. There's a few people that Corey's organised for me to talk to, because the kind of development of a social enterprise in America is far more understood as a being than in South Africa. And so I'm not really sure how it's going to go. It's one of the things that I'm really excited about being in America. Is I sense that there's some exciting prospects in terms of establishing a red sock base in America, and spending some more time here. I really feel like it's important. I really feel that this country has a huge responsibility and can make a massive impact on the rest of the world. I mean, you guys already have, sometimes for the wrong reasons, a lot of the time for the right reasons, but regardless of that, that's the past. That you guys can act now in the right way, and so I really believe in and the passion in this country, in your country, is freaking awesome. So yeah, that's a bit of that. So at the moment, get hold of Corey. That's our guerrilla plan. But in the future, maybe Doc Brown's going to come up with a beautiful strategy for me. Yeah, we'll encourage like flamboyant facial hair, wet red socks. Preferably red facial hair. Yeah, so I hope that answers that.
Any other questions?
Is there any way that we can get involved? We're obviously in America, like you said. Is there any way that we can help out Unogwaja? How do you pronounce it? Yeah.
Well, yes. I always say, like, if you want to be involved, you are involved, so you're now involved. Like, that's how it works. Like, there's no like sort of with the Unogwaja team, there's a really intimate selection process now, because we only have 12 riders at the moment. That's the way that we're going at the moment, and we get a lot more applications. And the reason why I've kept it at 12 is like your ability to really connect with your brothers and sisters on a 12-man team with 12 or 13 in the support crew. It's like a global family of 25 people where you get to really rub shoulders and really experience a team bond. And the more that it grows in numbers, the less intimate that becomes. So we now do like video questions, and we Skype interview every single person. And it's quite a thing. It's really emotional the last few months choosing our team for next year, because having to tell people that we haven't chosen them for this year, it's a difficult thing. But our whole philosophy, and we try and communicate as much as possible, is around, it's not about the outcome. It's not about whether you finish comrade. It's not about whether you get chosen this year. It's about this journey that you're on. And we hope that the whole process is really rewarding, even if you don't get chosen that year. Obviously, there's future years. So in the future, we'd love to see an Aggie apply to join the cycle. It would be amazing. We've obviously had American volunteers. Corey's now volunteered for a second year in a row, which to be honest, like, it's quite remarkable, really it is, to have that sense of selflessness. It's amazing, it really is. I just want to say thank you to Kari. Let's give her a round of applause. We've established this thing called the Unogwaja Light Fund, which at the moment is very much focused on South Africa in establishing and supporting existing organizations that are really doing incredible stuff to uplift and to educate and to drive forward. But we've ended up, the last few years, had a couple of, about 4 or 5 very special Brazilians that have joined Unogwaja. And I see Brazil as a very similar country to South Africa in terms of its challenges, in terms of its passion. And I believe, I can feel that this journey is going towards establishing Unogwaja lights in Brazil, and it's like the same can apply in America. But as soon as this journey starts here, in the SOCs, I mean, we're 350 million people. And imagine the story spreads around the entire States, and there's so many ways to get involved.
And one of the immediate ways, actually, because you have the 12 cyclists and the support team, they all raise funds online. And you guys can select an athlete that you want to support and do things for. We actually have a Brazilian out of Florida. His name's Alessandro. So he's in the United States. He happens to be Brazilian. But if you want to support one of those athletes, and they're raising a lot of money that's going to this Unogwaja Light that is directly impacting. And actually, Gary Eagle's thinking out for administration things. It's all really it's meant for the impact. And so if you guys want to know about that, it's actually UnogwajaChallenge.com.
Yeah, UnogwajaChallenge.com. I mean, knowing how to spell that, I mean, it's like, might as well not tell you that. But yeah, UnogwajaChallenge.com, and yeah, we hope to be, I mean, I hope in the future to be able to come to America and to really, there's a lot of funds that come from America to Africa. It's a huge amount of funds. There's a lot of funds that go freaking into places that don't really see the impact. And I hope that we're going to create a fund that we're going to see the impact and we're going to be part of that impact. And I hope, that the relationship with Unogwaja and the Red Sox and USA, it just grows how it's meant to. Like, I'm really philosophical about everything.
We're envisioning Shoots USA. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Ask them what they know about 12 men.
Oh, the 12th man, eh? Radical. Jeepers, can you guys get a bigger freaking football stadium? Is anyone on the football team here? Are they like rolling with like 300 chicks? Like, I mean, seriously, that football stadium is insane. How do I get in there? I really want to get in there. And cheapers, by the way. The reason why I was actually quite okay about, not too nervous about addressing you guys was the highest ranked officer is a freaking dog. You guys are epic. You guys are out of your mind. It's amazing. It's amazing. Don't ever change, please. I'm meeting the bloody dog. It's like meeting the Queen tomorrow. Like, it's like a massive deal. Oh, I can't wait. What is the etiquette? Like ruff, ruff. How do you roll? Does he cheat? Anyway, that's just the traditions around here. It's amazing. It really is cool. It's really cool. Cool.
What's been your, just 2 questions, what's been your favorite part so far just being in America, just 24 hours? And then secondly, what's the hardest part on that challenge? It's such a long challenge. Like, what's the most difficult thing? Is it more like physical or mental? Or?
Yeah, so America, geez, where do we start? 24 hours is quite a lot.
While he's thinking about that, one of his first comments in the car coming back on 45 from Houston was big trucks. Big flags.
And I saw like a Vin Diesel lookalike, and he had like these fat boots on and these tattoos and a massive car. And I was like, jeez, I'm not looking at it. Like, I was like, jeez, that's pretty intense. One thing that I went and had, what was it called, a taco this morning. And so, look, I've been experimenting. I used to. South Africa is very much like Texas in terms of like a strong meat eating culture. There's no doubt about that. But I've been exploring trying to eat less meat as like a conscious thing. Anyway, I can take it, man. So anyway, the taco lady, Kim was her name. I was like, I said to her, so what? There's one taco with sausage and egg. So I was like, what meat is the sausage? And like, it was like asking like rocket science, and no one had a clue. So it just didn't give me much confidence. It could be pork, so it could be pig, it could be. That's like quite a critical bloody thing. I asked what you want to buy, and she's like, well, I actually have no idea. It's just some kind of meat. So I was like, I was immediately vegetarian for the morning. Yeah, so Kim from Fuego certainly didn't inspire too much confidence in me. Apologies for that. There was, as I left Fuego, there was a dude rocking like his cowboy boots and his cap, his cowboy hat, and I was like, "You look fantastic, sir." And he was like, "What are you?" And I was in my red socks. And also the coffee, cheapest. I mean, the coffee cup is like a freaking pint. Like, why can't you Americans just have small things? No, it's not the way you guys roll. But anyway, so that's why it's just probably lucky I had a pint of coffee this morning because I probably needed it. But yeah, and then the health and safety questions I had to fill out was also pretty remarkable. Like they were asking me, when does the freaking bloody I mean, questions that I had absolutely no idea. I mean, there was no possible way that I would ever know, like when the garbage collection is. I'm like, why are you asking when the garbage collection is? And I had to fill out the form. It was I had to answer like 30 questions before I could enter into my room. But I nailed it. So, but
Residence hall. That's
yeah. Which res hall? I don't know.
The garden apartments that are over by the chocolate center.
Yeah. And they don't have the South African flag. They've got lots of flags. They don't have the South African one. Just FYI. Sort that out immediately, Doc. So yeah, but to be honest, every single moment I'm like eyes open. It's like it is epic, this place. Like it is like a different universe, and it's really, I just want to take in as much as I can. I've got a flight out of JFK on the 21st of October, so we've still got a lot of time. I'm hoping to get to San Francisco. Apparently it's quite a cool environment for all sorts of, they're pretty liberal and open to all sorts of, from business, and I don't know, plenty of people have communicated with me from San Francisco about the Red Sox and wanting to do this and do that, so you're going down there. And then the son of Sidney Feinstein, the original Red Sox, the dude who inspired this, his son has now been in touch with me, and for the first time about a week ago, he lives in Washington, D.C. I mean, come on, he's serious. South African living in Washington, D.C. And then he mailed me back, and he'd just been quietly watching this whole journey. Like, I hadn't been in contact with him, and he said something like, it was a really special email. He said something like, "Thank you for what you do for my family." And it meant so much to me because I'd always wanted to hear from him, and just let nature take its course. And he told me that he's got a couple of pairs of his dad's Red Sox from the freaking 40s. I mean, it's kind of a bit weird because socks, but I'm kind of excited about it. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to go to, and I was thinking because I'm going to be in Washington, I might as well knock on the White House. You just knock on the door in the Red Sox. I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Barack?" How do you just make an appointment with him?
Yeah. Jump over the fence.
No problem. Just say Minister, it's fine. Say hello to who? The man in the suits. Because I wear a suit, or this is fine.
That's fine.
Ah, perfect. Shove. This American place is great. So you just go to the White House for tea. The most difficult part of Unogwaja. I mean, in the first year, it's changed. Like in the first year, it was like was completely unknown. Like I believed in myself. I believed this journey was kind of written and kind of ordained that it just had to happen, it had to work. But you know that feeling when you put something out there, it's kind of like a statement, I'm going to do this, and then you're not entirely sure that you can do it. So that was a big, again, I didn't know how much cycling I had to do and running, and like everyone, like in that whole running and cycling world, they get a bit over the top, you know. But I think tough moments, generally around the second or third day, just physically, you're so early on in the trip, but you've done about 600 Ks, so your body's now going, I just want to sleep, I'm broken, and you still got 7 more days to do. You've got to keep repeating this, and you feel so overwhelmed. And the most important thing is just to focus on the present. It's something that really has helped me focus on the next step, the next pedal, the next whatever it is, and don't let the fact that you've got such a long way to go. And like it's like when you have a project or you have a thesis or you have anything, and it seems like so distant, like where you want to go, that you don't even start, and it freezes you. I think the most important thing that this journey has taught me is that just keep moving forward, and then the power of the collective is something truly incredible when you're connected by such a special force, and then you feel like we get messages from like literally all over the world, from people saying keep going, like, tweets, Facebook, like it's wild. It's like it's really special. With that whole thing behind you, like you just find resources that you can't. You can't believe how much more they can go. I really believe it. So that's why you guys must come. We should run on Saturday together in the museum half marathon, and I'd be very happy to run in those boots and whatever. I should make it as difficult as possible. So if anyone wants to run with me on Saturday, but firstly with squad 6 and 11 tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to it. You guys just throw it all out at me though tomorrow. I can't wait. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but I won't die. Yeah.
So what he's talking about is the Buffalo Stampede at the Brazos Valley Natural History Museum. So he's here academically and to discuss things with you guys and have fun.
Academically, yes. That's a bit of a push.
Learn something, but we're also reaching out to the community. So this is a university community thing as well, and so we always want to reach out to what's around us so that we can support what's around us. And the museum is actually selling some of the Red Sox, so if you go out there on Saturday, that's a fundraiser for them. And everybody that runs in the marathon, there's a 5K. And there's a 5K and a half marathon, and the proceeds all go to the operating budget of that Natural History Museum. It is the only one within a 100-mile radius of our area. So you are supporting not only that institution, but everybody that goes out, from little guys up to older people, and that use that space. So you're doing really good things, and I want to thank Squad 11 and 6 for volunteering on Saturday and going out there and helping. Really, really greatly appreciate that. I'd like Deborah Cowman to stand up for just a second.
We need more volunteers.
This is Executive Director Deborah Cowman. She's in charge of the Brazos Valley Natural History Museum. So if you feel compelled, your heart is saying, I want to go out there on Saturday and lend a hand.
Yeah, we need more volunteers
do
for
need
the water
volunteers.
cheer station.
Yeah, we need cheer stations out there, and there's actually a competition. If you win the cheer station competition, you can get $250 for your group. So go online to the Brazos Valley Natural History Museum, check that out, sign up. Talk to Deborah, she's here in the house. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all so much. Let's give him a big, huge, gigantic applause.
Before the honors freshman league, I'd like to talk to them.
And if you want to get in touch with me, I put these on the back table. It tells you what the Red Sox mean, and there's an email on there, so contact me if you have one before you leave. Let's give him a big round. We're gonna hang around for the next 10 minutes or so. That's what we have this night. Feel free to step forward. Great.